Hello YouTube, my name is Legend of DS. Welcome back to another Nintendo Direct predictions video because the sky has parted and the God has descended upon us to give us a Pokemon, a Nintendo Direct finally. It's been 6 months since the last big Nintendo Direct. The last one was in September, and then we had the mini direct, but this is the first Nintendo Direct since September, and it's finally happening. It's happening tomorrow. It's happening at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. GMT, and 10 and 11 p.m. Central European time. I obviously am at the time zone of GMT. It's 10 p.m. for me, so you lucky Americans, you have to wait a lot less than we do. Seriously. But it's going to be focusing on, it's going to be 30 minutes, supposedly, going by Nintendo's tweet. It's going to be 30 minutes, and it's going to include 3DS and Switch titles launching this year, including details on Mario Tennis. So let's get started with these predictions. First, let's start off with the 3DS predictions. I'm going to do this in segments. The 3DS, followed by the Switch, followed by Japan. I'm going to do a very short prediction for Japan that I've been thinking over even for my 3 predictions video that's happening on Monday. I was thinking about putting it here. Not here, there. I was going to expect an announcement there, but I think the announcement that I was thinking that was happening at E3 or before E3 is happening here tomorrow. So let's get started. I don't know what time at the Japanese Direct is going to happen, so but it's at the same time as everybody else. But let's get it started. Let's start with the 3DS, and for 3DS I'm not expecting much. If we look at the 3DS lineup, it's small, there's not a lot of it. I think they're going to announce, they're going to announce localizations of most games for the West, like Dragon Quest XI. I think they're going to talk about Entry Odyssey and all the games that are coming out. They're going to be brought back to the West. Maybe we'll finally hear about Dragon Quest XI coming to the 3DS, maybe with a hint of the Switch version. So yeah, there's not a lot for 3DS. They're going to talk obviously about Detective Pikachu, and hopefully announce a Detective Pikachu port for Switch. Fingers crossed. I would like to have that game on Switch, because at this point in time I'm not really into buying Pokemon games on the 3DS. I've moved on. I think most people have moved on. Obviously the Switch is doing well, but Nintendo needs to keep the 3DS going. I'm not expecting much else, that's the word, much else. For the 3DS, this is roughly a 30-minute direct, so there's not going to be much for 3DS. Unfortunately, I'm not expecting any big announcements. Maybe some small announcements like that sushi game that they announced last year at E3. Maybe some sort of remake or a port of an older game for the 3DS. Honestly, at this point in time, there's not much to expect on the 3DS. The 3DS is coming down to the end of its life cycle, so expecting much of it is not correct. Now moving on to the Switch. Segment, to the Switch part of this video. For the Switch, obviously let's start with Mario Tennis Aces. I think we're going to get a release date. The rumored release date is June 22nd. I think that's about right. It's the last day of, technically speaking, it's already summer, but it's first day of summer, last day of spring kind of thing. Comes out after E3. I'm expecting them to announce more characters, more characters for the roster. I'm hoping that the roster includes Pauline, because I think now that Pauline is in Mario Odyssey, in 3D Marios, there should be more of her presence in the games. Maybe even an update for Mario Kart 8 to include her. Maybe we're going to see more stages, obviously, maybe more bosses, more playable characters. Maybe more details about how the game will work on both online and offline, more modes. And yeah, that's about it for Mario Tennis. I'm expecting also we'll hear the release date for Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition, because we haven't. In the West, Japan already has a release date. I believe Korea also has a release date for the game, but we haven't heard anything from it since they announced it on the January mini direct. So maybe we'll hear it here again, or more, I should say. Hopefully, fingers crossed. A release date would be nice, and I think that's what they're going to do. A small trailer with the announcement. I'm not expecting it. Maybe they'll announce the season pass for it, like they did for the 3DS and the Wii U version. So, you know, maybe as an incentive for the people that bought both versions to buy the new one, or even just show us new content. because there already is content for people that only played the vanilla version, which was the original Wii U release, which people like me. Moving on, I think that afterwards, or another game that should be showcased in this direct, will be Diablo 3. We've heard the rumors, the speculation is there, and even I don't care if Eurogamer confirmed it, quote unquote. I hate when people use that a website puts out a rumor and people confirm it. I think that anybody with half a brain saw the tweet from Blizzard. Was it Blizzard? I believe it was Blizzard. I forget if it was Blizzard or the official Diablo 3 account that had that gif of the Diablo head on a Switch, and it's like, do you really need to think about it? And people obviously then they can deny it and they have nothing to announce, but that's what Bethesda said regarding Skyrim. It's you know, and NDAs are in, and I believe it's going to be announced here. I was already expecting it to be announced before E3 in the Direct, mostly because Diablo would be a good game to announce and a big game to come to the Switch, but I don't think it's a E3 announcement or a announcement to be made at E3. Now this Direct is also coming during the wee hours, the late hours in Europe. It's 10 p.m. GMT and 11 p.m. Central European time. Normally when you get directs this late, there's a rated M for mature game or announcement of a rated M for mature game, so I wouldn't be shocked if it was Diablo 3 one of them. I wouldn't also be shocked if the South Park The Fractured Butthole also was announced for Switch. We've heard there was listings for it, and maybe it will be, maybe it won't. There was the rumor of coming out on March 13th. That would be next Tuesday. That's not going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was announced. Here, another game, this is one that I'm expecting either to be announced here or at E3. It is the Dragon Ball FighterZ, the port of it for the Switch. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is selling in Japan better than Dragon Ball FighterZ Z. Xenoverse 2 is selling better than Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is a shame because the Switch version is selling better than FighterZ in Japan, which is a shame. I think that the game would do well on Switch. I want it to have. When it comes to first party IPs, I'm expecting Nintendo to announce like another thing for Kirby. I'm expecting us to see DLC for Mario Odyssey. It's weird that we haven't had it yet, and I feel like the game is just tailor-made to receive expansion passes. Maybe even just that, an expansion pass. Maybe having the Fino Island come back, maybe new kingdoms or other places to explore in each kingdom. Because remember, the Metro Kingdom is not just New Donk City. New Donk City is a part of the kingdom. There's more to that kingdom than just New Donk. So it would be interesting to see if they would make an expansion pass with more missions, maybe in certain levels, expanding and adding new worlds to the map, new kingdoms to the map. It will be fun to see. Honestly, that's my personal opinion. Outside of Mario Tennis, obviously I think we're going to see also a trailer for Project Octopath Traveler, because I believe the rumored release date right now is August 17th. I believe it was leaked by a retailer. You know, it's far away, maybe it's third party, maybe it could. What else? Oh, first party. I think we're going to finally hear games that are coming in July. I don't think that Nintendo, if they do have a game for July, they would talk about it at E3 or just announce it at E3. I think we're going to hear about it. It's games, according to the tweet, is the games launching this year. So I don't know, July seems like right now everything after May or even games in May, we don't have a very clear picture. So July, June don't have release dates. Maybe we're going to hear about them. Maybe we'll see more about the DLC coming for Xenoblade. I wouldn't be shocked if Nintendo shadow dropped the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle DLC, the Donkey Kong DLC, after the Direct was done. Maybe we'll finally hear about Virtual Console. I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting Virtual Console to come out around the same time as the Nintendo E3 online service. I'm expecting maybe we'll hear about more ports from either Wii U or 3DS or PS4 and Xbox One games or Wii games. I think HD remasters could do well on the Switch. Okay, quick thing that I completely forgot to mention in this predictions video this is post-editing. This is already in editing. I forgot, before we move on to the Japanese segment, I forgot something. This is coming late this year, so the July title might just be Fire Emblem coming to the Nintendo Switch. We know it's a game coming out in 2018, so it makes sense for them to announce it here. Fire Emblem coming in July would be pretty fucking great. If I do say so myself, apologize for the swearing there, but yeah, I completely forgot to mention that. So yeah, let's keep moving this with this video. And now I think I'm done with the Switch portion, so let's go on to the Japanese version. This is the one thing I'm expecting from Japan. I'm not expecting a lot more differences between the West and Japan. I am, however, expecting that Japan will have the first footage of Dragon Quest XI for the Nintendo Switch. I think that's the big difference between the Japanese and the European, Japanese and the Western Nintendo Direct, is that Dragon Quest XI will be showcased in that feed. We won't be getting that feed, and the only thing that I'm expecting for Dragon Quest XI on the European and American Directs will just be that, the little mention for the 3DS with the release date, maybe with the trailer. So yeah, that's about it. Oh no, wait, one more thing regarding the games on the Switch. I'm expecting more indies, and I'm expecting Nintendo to do maybe even a Box Boy style games that will start be releasing from smaller Nintendo developers within the eShop. Even maybe the developers behind Snipperclips could be working on something. Maybe the game that the Fast RMX people have been working on. But yeah, that's about it for this Nintendo Direct. So we just have to wait and see. We don't have much longer to wait. A little over a day is all we have to wait. Well, actually, from this point, it's still a day and a half practically. So tell me in the comment section, what do you think? What are you expecting for this Nintendo Direct? Are you excited or not? Are you keeping your expectations low? That's a good thing. Oh, another prediction, I forgot. I don't think we're going to see Labo in this Direct. I think Labo trailers are going to be their individual thing, kept outside of Nintendo Direct. That's why the Labo was not announced in its own Nintendo Direct. But anyway, what was I? Tell me, how excited are you, if you are excited or not? Are you trying to keep your expectations low and expect nothing? Or are you already over the roof happiness because we're finally getting a Nintendo Direct? Do you think that Japan will get that first footage of Dragon Quest XI? And do you think that Dragon Quest XI will be showcased in the West, even if it's just the 3DS version? So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been the Legend of the S, and I'll see you guys next time.